In 2016, streamer Vinesauce decided to livestream himself exploring active worlds, a mostly abandoned MMO released in 1995. He was interested to see the environments, gameplay features, and remnants of bygone activity, but he received much more than that. What he believed to be an NPC, based on the generic phrases it sent in the world chat, began to interact with him in unsettling ways. The creepy NPC turned out to be another player messing with the streamer, but at the time, Kotaku, BGR, Vice, and other gaming publication sites posted articles covering the event, calling it something out of a creepypasta. The buzz surrounding active worlds gave it a small resurgence in popularity, giving others the opportunity to experience something similarly special through the game's forgotten virtual worlds. This event is just a sample of the kind of things that can be both uncovered and created while exploring online games, and it was only possible because someone somewhere is keeping the game's lights on. So to say, they haven't pulled the metaphorical or maybe literal plug. Active Worlds was among the first online games released in the early 90s on PC through necessity. Doom, Avalon, Ultima Online, and EverQuest come to mind as pioneers in utilizing the power of the World Wide Web. In the late 90s, Half-Life modding and Quake 3 proved through stable and engaging online multiplayer that the internet was more than just viable for online play. It was a revolution in it. Around the turn of the millennium, internet infrastructure and gaming hardware reached a point where the integration of the two became a new focus in gaming innovation. Online gaming was born in a form accessible to the gaming consumers at large, and they were enthralled by the near infinite variability and unpredictability that the human element added to gameplay. Since the sixth generation of consoles, internet connectivity has become possible through additional adapter add-ons, and since the seventh generation of consoles, network adapters have been built-in standard for gaming devices. After these milestone innovations, online multiplayer has become a viable additional game mode, and in some cases the main game mode for developers to pursue. Online gaming's vast improvements in functionality and accessibility over the past few decades has allowed it to flourish and constantly evolve with the gaming landscape. Considering also the many avenues online gaming has taken in implementation, it's hard to cover the many ways the internet has been used to bring players together. To begin, there's already a big difference between cooperative online gaming that sees players forming small groups to take on whatever challenges the game has to offer, and competitive online gaming, where the challenges derive from the skill of other players. And sometimes a blend of the two is used. Just look at Destiny's Gambit game mode. It takes into account how well the player does against AI enemies and other players. There's a gameplay style to match most any player's preference, whether they're screaming at their opponents in a battle royale, calling out queues in World of Warcraft raids, flexing drip in virtual economies in games like Roblox. They have a reason to participate. Online gaming is a living thing that continues to cover more niches, and as long as the interest is there, online gaming will provide. It's clear to see with the current gaming scene, complete with an array of franchises that don't seem to be slowing down anytime soon, and esports rivaling its non-electronic counterpart. It's only natural that games themselves have a lifespan. For many, this isn't a big deal. If it's just a single-player game, it'll be playable so long as there's a functioning device to play it on. However, there's something ephemeral about online gaming. If you don't engage with a game within a certain time frame, that experience can be changed entirely throughout years or decades of updates and new installations, and some games are lost forever. Online games don't just die in the sense of a player base dwindling. Servers shut down and many remain unplayable. This means that when the players fade away, so does the game. When the cultural moment is done, the experience ceases to be, along with the effort of every developer and player. There is hope though. Some of the luckiest games return from the dead as fan-hosted revivals. They require dedication from a most likely unpaid team. On top of this, fan revivals are unofficial, and in the case of Club Penguin Rewritten, this has led to legal trouble involving the IP's copyright. It led to the fan server's shutdown and the arrest of 3 team members, making classic Club Penguin once again unplayable. Similarly, Cartoon Network filed a DMCA shutdown for MMO revival Fusion Fall Universe, meaning it has also become unplayable for the foreseeable future. It's pretty disheartening to see legal teams stomp out passion projects. However, on the brighter side of fan revivals, projects like OpenTTD, an open source port of Transport Tycoon Deluxe to modern systems featuring an overhauled online play that the original never got to have, exist and are more likely to be encouraged by creators than snuffed out. Vinny returned to Active Worlds in 2009 with an original admin of the game who gave a more guided tour, where locations, features, lore, and history was revealed in more depth.
Mount Eden, home of the werewolves and Christmas celebrations. Ah yes. Definitely 2 things I always picture together. Physics manipulation for ice skating. And yes, that is the Macarena.
Not only are forgotten aspects of the game revealed, but so are the admin Garrick's personal reasons for sticking with the game after all the time that has passed since its release.
This game is also like my inner mind palace, says Garrick. Like my own personal mind palace where I can go and literally do anything, he says. For example, you can now fly. Wow. I can now fly. There's so much to this. Yeah, this is a very extensive amount of building. And I understand what Garrick means by having his own place. I mean, in some ways that was why I made Half-Life maps. In some ways, when I played online games, it was a kind of a similar thing, but I changed the color of the sky and paint with all the colors of the wind, Garrick just said. Oh my. Something kind of beautiful about this sentiment. I think I get it.
The archival and preservation of online game experiences is necessary for recording what exactly humans are capable of, and what exactly they want to spend their time on. It's vital to the full understanding of past and present games that could disappear without a trace. Online gaming at its core is playing games with other people. It's a hobby of countless, a crowning achievement of entertainment and connectivity. It needs to be experienced in the moment, and because of that, its moment will always come to pass. But that doesn't have to be, and shouldn't be the full stop, to any game's permanence or legacy.